Don't you know about the divination pavilion?
Barnabas asked, looking at Zane in astonishment.
Should I have heard of it? Is it significant or something?
Barnabas couldn't believe Zane's ignorance.
The divination pavilion is a huge faction in the Yarrow Kingdom. Its leader, Jared, is rumored to be so powerful that even the Imperial Army wouldn't dare lay a finger on him.
Zane listened intently, but didn't show much concern.
As for the Colby family, I don't know much about them except that they're a reclusive martial arts family. No one seems to know how rich or powerful they are. What I do know is that all the most important sects and families are bringing their disciples here to participate in this test, and they know much more than we do.
He looked around at the crowd to see if he recognized anyone.
Look over there, that's Seamus.
He pointed to a strange-looking young man.
His parents are from the royal families of the Yarrow and Lyran kingdoms.
Zane followed Barnabas's gaze and saw the man in question. Seamus was dressed in a purple and gold robe with a dragon and snake emblem embroidered on it. He was surrounded by several beautiful young women. Despite his self-important air, Zane remained unfazed.
And that's Penelope, the daughter of Princess Maya and the Southern King.
Barnabas told him, pointing to a charming-looking lady with delicate facial features. Barnabas pointed out another important-looking man.
Judging by his clothes, I'm guessing he's a master of meditation from the Peace Temple.
He continued to point out the other participants to Zane, explaining who they were, and he seemed to know almost everyone there. Some of them had impressive connections, but Zane knew it didn't matter where he came from. He was determined to rely on his own skills and talent to get accepted into the Five Spirits sect. A bell rang and 3 people from the Five Spirits sect walked out and scanned the bustling crowd.
Those uniforms they're wearing are from the White Wolf Academy,
Barnabas whispered, referring to their white clothing. He sounded rather excited as he gazed up at them.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Vanya.
One of the men announced, silencing the crowd.
I'm the president of the Hall of Foreign Affairs in the Five Spirits sect, and I'm in charge of this test, which will begin shortly. Please wait in front of the gate until we call your name.
Vanya was a powerful man whose cultivation was at the second stage of the foundation level. He made a sudden, sweeping gesture with his hand, and a ray of light burst out of his large ring. To everyone's surprise, a giant black rock appeared in front of him. A series of symbols that resembled insects flickered across its surface.
This is called the energy sealing rock. It's extremely heavy, and it can stop the vital energy in your body from circulating. The first part of the test is about strength. As long as you can push the rock 10 yards away from you, then you may follow the stairs up to the next part of the test.
As he pointed to a staircase behind him, a bald, bare-chested man suddenly jumped out from the crowd and confidently walked up to the rock.
Let me try.
Without waiting for permission, he activated his blood energy and began building up his strength. Then he clenched his fist and punched the rock. Huge waves of power flowed from his arm and spread to the rock, and it moved about 3 yards and then stopped. His jaw dropped, and he reluctantly turned to Vaniel, embarrassed that the rock hadn't moved any farther. He begged to Vaniel.
Please give me another chance.
But Vaniel didn't even look at him. He simply shooed him away.
Next.
The bald man didn't want to believe he had blown his chance. He tried to push the rock again, but before he could, 2 guards held his arms and escorted him to a side. Another burly man in a splendid leather armor stepped forward. He took a deep breath, placed his hands on it, and pushed with all his might.
4 yards. Fail. Next.
As each hopeful made their attempt, Vaniel ruthlessly announced the results, and after more than 100 attempts, not a single person had succeeded in moving the rock 10 yards. Just as everyone was beginning to think it was impossible, a voice called out,
"Let me show you all how it's done."
The man Barnabas had referred to as Seamus took a step forward, rubbing his palms together. Not a trace of vital energy was circulating throughout his body.
Can no one here even handle a simple energy sealing rock?
Seamus asked, raising an eyebrow. With that, he stretched out his hand, and with a simple push, the rock moved until it stopped at the 12-yard line. Everyone cheered, glad to finally have proof that it was possible to move on to the next stage.
Not bad.
Vaniel shrugged, clearly unimpressed.
You passed the first stage. Next,
The other hopefuls watched, as Seamus proudly marched up the stairs.
Penelope, please come forward.
With a glance at Elena, Penelope took a step toward the rock, and then she threw a punch. To her great delight, the rock rolled just over 10 yards.
Pass.
Vaniel shouted in the same indifferent tone as before. Then he checked the list and called out.
Elena of the Divination Pavilion.
Then he looked up, showing the first sign of interest since the test had begun. As Elena made her way toward the rock, it was impossible not to notice how elegant she was, and even Vaniel seemed enchanted by her. Elena could hear people whispering as she walked by. Most people seemed more interested in her looks than her talent, but she wasn't the least bit unnerved by it. At least some members of the crowd were talking about her skill, and that gave her a boost of confidence.
Rumor has it that she's been cultivating since she was born. She's incredibly talented.
Whenever you're ready.
Vaniel told her, gesturing to the rock. Elena lifted her hand and punched the rock. Although she hadn't seemed to make much effort, the rock rolled even faster than anyone had seen until then.
17 yards. Amazing.
Everyone was stunned and many people gasped in surprise. Vaniel chuckled.
Well, I think we know who will be making it into the Five Spirit sect. Congratulations in advance, Elena.
Can't wait for more? Catch the next episode tomorrow. And if you are ready to binge the whole series, download our app now. Tap the link in our bio to start your journey.